is that we have a database that has, it's an event store database. So we have events, and then we have multiple views databases also. So we have one set of views projections going into customer views and another set into order views. And let's say that something's happened to customer views so that it's become corrupted. What I'm wanting to show right now is that based on the events that are here, all the events currently there, that customer views, and I was already there, has 802 items in it. And I've taken this same database with these containers and restored it from a previous point in time. Let's say this goes back to yesterday. So I've restored it here. And if we look at Data Explorer here, we see that our customer views here will have 702 items. So select count. So what I want to do is I want to show that it's possible to restore one projection, one set of views, one database, and run the projection engine to repopulate just these views for customers without affecting orders and without having to start from the beginning. Because if the scenario is we've been running for a year and we have a billion events, we don't want to run all those events again. We just want to run from the restore point forward, and we'll use basically Cosmos DB has a built-in change feed start date, so you can set the start date of when you want the change feed to start. And we're also doing checkpoints, looking at the logical sequence numbers when we are checking events that we're putting into our views to make sure that we haven't already handled those events. So there's two things going on here to make sure that we're doing this without repeating every single event through there. So what I'm going to do, I'm not going to mess with this demo, which is the source or the original database, but on this restore database, I want to just delete everything I don't need. So we're going to be working with customers, so I will delete orders, which means we're going to keep using order views from the original database. And I will, actually for leases, I'm just going to go in here and clean this out, so I don't need any of these. I could delete this whole thing and recreate it, but it takes probably the same amount of time to delete these 6 rows this way. And basically, this is because we're imagining that we are restarting from a restored database and we don't have those leases established yet. So that's gone. Events, we don't need that database at all because we're using the original database for the events. And what we should have left is our customer views with 702 views currently built up in there, which is that query, and it's 702. And just to show you, if I come over here, customer views, items, this one has 802. So I added 100 new items after that restore point. Okay, so now the change that we make in our code is, let me grab the code. It's actually just a configuration change or a couple. So I need to go to this database and get my new connection string basically. And I'm changing where I'm pointing my leases. So I'm in my customer projections project, and I'm just changing that my leases are going to look at this restore database, and my customer views are looking there, and I need to change the key. So So I've copied that key and I'm changing it for these two. And note up above, the leases are still pointing at, or sorry, the events are still pointed at the original database. The other thing is, this is the epic time, and we're saying start from 0, which means start from January 1st, 1970, which will be way before we started. But now I don't want to start at the beginning of everything. I want to start where this thing was restored from, which I noted in this notepad here that we were going to start at this time. Oh, I thought I had the epic time for that. Hang on just a second. Maybe it's 12:10:46. Not that one. Let me double check that. Restore Data Explorer. Yes, demo. Leases. Items. I want to look at when I last had a view put in here. So I'll reverse order this. This means this is the most recent one. What is that time? 03. That was at 12:05. And what did my notes say? My notes said 12:10. So I ran all those additional 100 like at 12:10 or 12:15. Anyway, this time would be good. I'm just going to back it up another 10 seconds. So instead of 7:03, we'll go 6:93. And we'll start there. So that should grab everything I need. And then let me show you that I'm changing this to say start at that epic time. And for customers, I'm not looking at, customer, this. Did I just change the wrong? No. Demo, restore. Okay. So I'm going to run this now. And when I run this, what we're expecting to have happen is that we're expecting it to populate the next 100 items into our restore database based on events in the original database, but not all the events, just the events after this time. And if there were any duplicates because we rolled back, it's not going to add them again because we're checking the logical sequence numbers when we add them in to make sure they weren't already added. So we'll go there, and I didn't want to start that one because that was orders, and I really want to do customers. Customer projection engine, let's run that. Alright, so that's running, and this 404 is normal because there is no web page for that application. And what I'm wanting to see now is if I go to restore, make sure I'm in restore, and make sure I'm in my customer views, new SQL query, select count. We should be seeing this count up from 702 going towards 802. So there it is. It's building its views back up. And of course this could run as like if you were wanting to alter your views for some reason, you can have your, and it wasn't because of failure, you could have your existing views database still sitting there and be spinning this one up side by side and then just do a switch over, sort of like a blue-green deploy. Let's see where we are. And this would be a lot faster if it wasn't running on my computer and having to communicate across. Normally we run these web apps sitting right in the same location as the database, so it pulls the information and pushes it really fast. Alright, so there it was. and we've updated the database so now they match. Thank you.